Hello. Welcome to the Sunnydale Diaries, a podcast where I, Sean,
And I'm Melanie.
watch every episode of Saved by the Bell the college years, every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and discuss how the related themes of the episodes impact our lives. We have a first today for our season 4 premiere. We are joined by a special guest, my good friend for more than 30 years.
Oof.
You've heard me talk about her on the podcast before, Trixie Stix, aka Maria. Maria, welcome.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here with you guys. Hello.
I asked Maria to join because this was the first episode of Buffy that she watched with me, and really your first episode ever. You came over for the season 4 premiere, and I think you were hooked from that.
I was.
Yeah.
Did you go back and rewatch seasons 1 through 3 then eventually?
Yes, I have seen them all.
Okay.
But not necessarily recently, but I am very well versed in the Buffyverse.
Okay.
So to speak.
Nice. So very happy you're here.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I was getting a lot of nostalgia watching this one.
Nostalgia about the show or nostalgia about your life?
Both.
Okay.
At this point, so this premiered October 5th of 99. So I had just started my senior year of college. I think I may not have been officially moved in with Mike, but probably was in the process, like definitely spending a couple of nights a week there, definitely like had a toothbrush. So
It was serious.
Yeah, it was a good time. I think this is around now when we had gotten our first cat, which Maria had found and given us, Willow.
Oh,
Yeah, named after Willow.
of course.
She was sweet. So yeah, good time. Good time in my life.
Good memories.
Yep. Maria, do you remember what you were doing fall of 99?
I was probably working. You probably remember better than I do. I am just a little bit older than you, so my first year in college was in 95, 96.
Mm-hmm.
It only lasted a year. I came home, and I was probably working in that label factory.
Label makers.
Yeah. Making pressure-sensitive labels and stickers.
Ah.
Yes.
She used to give me them. I remember I had a notebook covered with like a penguin that said "Do not freeze" on it.
A lot of like hazardous waste stickers, and also a lot of dance hall stickers for like record labels as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember. I think the Venga Boys. I think we did stickers for them. If you remember who they are.
The Venga Boys are coming.
That was right around this time.
So, my college years spanned from 95 through 2019.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
So on and off, and I finally did graduate, cap and gown, got my degree.
Congratulations.
Thank
Good for
you.
you. That must have felt so good after all that time.
It did. It was a nice sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Don't ask me what I'm doing with my degree because I'm still at the same job. But like I said, it's the first one for my family to graduate college.
Yeah, great. Same. Good for you.
Thank you.
And yeah, you have a career. You're a professional.
Yes. No, I am a professional.
Very cool. Melanie, what about you? Fall of 99.
I'm older than both of you. And I got my graduate degree in 96. And this is right at the end of my first job out of college. This is like right before I moved on to my first real IT job in healthcare IT. So I was miserable and wanting to get out and trying to find a way. That was my life at that point.
Yeah. I definitely related to Buffy's wandering around that first day.
Yeah.
It's an adjustment.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, both of you went away as freshmen for your first year in school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but my campus was tiny. Like,
yeah.
I think I refused to visit you at Stony Brook because it was too big. I was like, I'm not dealing with that. Sorry.
I got it. It is. It was a very big campus. I mean, it had, and not only is it just a big college campus, it had a giant, like, I think it's 19 floor hospital
Oof.
on campus. They put a Hilton Garden Inn on that campus
Oh,
now.
Oh wow.
wow.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
I know my first college was University of Miami. I went there for 2 years, and that's a beautiful campus. And I thought it was big until I went to University of Florida, which is just ginormous comparatively. And I remember when I first got to University of Florida, I made my friends walk with me to my classes. It was just so intimidating, and I just didn't want to go anywhere alone.
I think my very first day, I may have mentioned this on the podcast. So there were two parking lots, a north one and a south one. If you parked in the south one, you had to take a bus to like drop you off in the middle of campus. I'm like, I
Hmm.
don't want to do that.
Not
So I,
doing that.
so I parked in the north one, which is like where like the railroad station was. It was probably a mile hike to
Yeah.
my class from there. And, little 18-year-old Sean, like tiny, I was tiny. My backpack with every single textbook
Oh,
in it. That didn't last long. I think I
no.
switched to the South lot like within the week and stopped carrying all the books.
We as freshmen or, underclassmen at University of Florida, you couldn't park on campus. You had to park at the park and ride parking lot and take the bus in. And there were so many students that it was like a 50-50 as to whether or not you were going to get a parking space in that parking lot. And so like you'd go in and you'd wait for the bus to come in to drop the people off, and you'd kind of stalk them up and down the lanes of the parking lot. And then if you could get a space, great, you'd go to class. If not, you just drive back home. You're like, well, guess
Oh,
I'm not going to class today. I mean, I can't get a parking space. I missed a lot of classes that way.
that's nuts. So I think my entire college, it was like maybe 400 students. Like the senior class only had like 12. It was a private, small, all girls liberal arts college in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it was very, very tiny. I lived on campus, so I didn't have to worry about parking. I didn't have a car, so I didn't have to
Yeah.
really worry about that. And I was a fine arts major, so it was very it was very chill.
Yeah. Different.
I think it's definitely a memorable year from what you've told me for you.
Yes, no, I mean I'm so happy that I did that. I had the experience away, met a lot of great people that I still speak to. I still speak to my friend Nicole to this
Mhm.
day. So
So, did you live on campus, Maria? Did you live in a dorm?
I lived in a dorm,
Okay.
and my roommate, which I don't want to talk about the episode, but it very much reminded me of Buffy's.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
she was from New York City.
Yeah.
Her name was Naverka.
Oh,
She was yeah,
I remember
Naverka Obi. I'm like, oh, that's a great
oh,
name.
yeah, it is.
She was just very like classy. She was from the city, and um, she was very chill. I mean, she was very polite, very cordial. She had her own mini fridge, so I was like, oh, she's got money. She got her own fridge. Meanwhile, I'm putting my pizza on the outside windowsill
Oh,
because it's Pittsburgh. It's cold.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, that works. We'll
Yeah.
keep it cold.
Yeah.
And I remember she got a care package from her mom, and it was a little jar of macadamia nuts. I'm like, oh, those are fancy nuts. And she didn't want
Yeah.
it. She goes, do you
Oh,
want this? I'm like, oh, sure. Did not realize how rich they were. I ate them like they were peanuts. I was so sick. Like my poor blood did not take to macadamia nuts. That was just that. I was like, oof. That was my
those,
sick college.
those wild college nights.
Oh, it was nutty, all right.
That's right. Sean,
No,
did
that's
you
going
live
on the
in a dorm?
highlight reel. Sorry?
Did you live in a dorm?
One semester I
Oh,
did my junior year, the first half of it. So the fall of my junior year, I lived on campus. My parents' view on it was, if you want to do it, that's fine, but you're paying for it. So I
oh,
did.
wow.
I mean, I think I wiped out my savings account. Yeah, the little one that I had, because at that point I was still working King Cullen, the supermarket. So there wasn't much in there, but
Yeah.
it paid for that semester. So I did that semester on campus because I was an orientation leader the summer in between. I got to move in early,
Yeah.
so that was cool. So I was in there probably like a week before everybody else showed up. normal dorm-sized room like what Buffy had in this episode. And they always overbook, so we were originally supposed to be a triple in that room.
Ooh.
Thankfully, the third guy, who I think he was a senior, walked in and said, "Nope, I'm not doing this," and left.
Oh, wow.
That was rude.
Yeah.
Mm.
My roommate, Nick, he was very nice. We got along great. We never had any issues with anything. Yeah, he was a good roommate.
That's good.
We chipped in together on a mini fridge, and when I had moved out, he like bought out my half, which was
Oh.
nice. And so yeah, it was for that one semester, it was a great experience, and I'm very happy that I did it.
We our dorm at University of Miami was 2 rooms and the bathroom in the middle. And so, and I also was there a week early because I was doing work study, working at the front desk of my dorm. So I got to get there a little early. But my roommate was very nice. She was actually from Dunedin, which I ended up living in eventually, which is crazy. And then the 2 girls that were next to us, they were sorority. We were like so not like them. And it got very like there was a lot of animosity eventually, where a phone call would come. Oh, and that was also the days where we had landlines and it was one shared line. And if somebody called for them, we just bang on the wall, go to the dining hall, which was right there. We'd go pick up our friend in another room, and we'd all go to the dining room and hang out and watch TV. It was good times.
Maria, being a commuter student where you finished up your bachelor's, did you like that better? Was it just so completely different? It's not comparable.
Definitely not comparable. I mean, I was also a little bit older, a little bit more established. So, I went to school at that point just to learn. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
the person that sat in the front of the class. If I didn't understand
Yep.
something because I was paying for my classes, I'd be like,
Yep.
Professor,
Yep.
Professor.
Yep.
Meanwhile, and I went at night. So, generally, night students, not to generalize, but you're either going to be the people who are working during the day, older, or you're going to be the people who don't want to get up early for morning classes. So, you're going to be the slack. So, it was a very interesting mix. But I just went, and it was a smaller, much, much smaller campus. I mean, it was local, still a state university. And I enjoyed it. I mean, I stuck it out.
Yeah.
Got my little cap and gown, and I actually have mine in my closet. If I thought about it, I would have grabbed it.
Oh.
Yeah, when we were doing the graduation episodes, I was searching for my cap and gown because I thought I kept it. I guess I just got rid of it, and then right after Christmas, I was cleaning out the closet and found I got rid of the gown, but I did keep the cap. Now, at that point, I already ordered the maroon one that we used in the season 3 finale. I was like, all right, well, I have it. That's good to know. What was your favorite course out of like all the classes that you took?
I took some. I don't know. I took some interesting classes. I took an art history class that was really kind of cool. When I was in Miami, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, crazy but interesting. If you could keep your eyes open. And then I took a sci-fi literature course at University of Florida, which was kind of interesting. Like the history of sci-fi, and the teacher was wackadoo. He was like, time travel is possible. You just close your eyes and you take your memory, and that's your time travel. And he was the perfect teacher for that class. But yeah, he was weird, but that was a good one.
I don't know. I took I think my fine arts classes were probably my favorite because they were fun. They weren't really very structured. I remember taking a printmaking class, not practical in an everyday kind of world, but being able, making my own paper and then printing and like running
Oh,
it
that's
through the
cool.
big giant crank, and
Yeah.
it was just very chill. I mean, I used to spend the night there. I'd wake up underneath the table, kind of thing. So it was fun. I mean, it was not like I was partying. It was just like I just went up there and just slept under the table and met up with friends the next day, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Johnny.
I think I'll say it's a tie between my introduction to psychology, because it was just a great professor, and we actually had to do like participate in experiments with like grad students.
Yeah.
Like we had to do that to get like full credit, so that was cool. And then genetics, just because I liked the science of
Oh,
genetics.
wow. My degree is elementary education, so we had to take a lot of like practical classes, like teaching art to elementary school kids, which we did like different art projects, elementary level projects, which was fun. or teaching science to kids, and we got to make a light box, and we got to do different science experiments. And so that kind of stuff was fun too.
Cool. All right. You want to get into the episode?
Let's do it.
All right. Episode 1, The Freshman.
Yep.
Start out with Buffy and Willow at the cemetery. Buffy in braids. I don't think we've seen that hairstyle before.
And Willow's got a cute little choppy new cut. I like it.
Yeah, I noted that. Talking about what classes to pick.
Mm-hmm.
Introduction to the modern novel.
I feel like I took that class.
I was thinking of what literature class I took because originally I had started my spring of my freshman year the Bible as literature.
Oh yeah,
I was enrolled in. I just thought it'd be an interesting literature course.
sure.
The guy was teaching religion. He
Oh,
wasn't teaching the Bible. Like he was preaching to us. Like, nope, I'm out.
yeah,
So, ended up in Introduction to Poetry, which was fine.
that's good too.
Yeah.
Do you have any of your poems that you wrote?
Not from college.
No?
I have my high school literary magazines that Maria and I were both on. We're both editor in our senior years.
Yes.
But no.
No.
I think so. Speaking of literature, I want to ask, what are you both reading right now?
Oh,
I am preparing to read. I actually haven't opened. I mean, I've opened the book, but I need to sit down and just like have a moment. But I just purchased Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros, the third book in her Imperium trilogy.
okay.
So I just need to. I'm a little afraid to start it though, because not that I've seen any spoilers, but I know it can be a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, and I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Oh.
So
I am waiting for my copy at the library. I'm 15th in line.
I've never even heard of this.
Fourth Wing?
Oh, Fourth Wing. Yes.
This is
yeah.
This isn't fairy porn. This is dragon porn.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I just finished reading Lessons in Chemistry, which was very good. Now, if you want me to tell you the author, I could not off the top of my head, but I know it's also a mini series.
Based off the Apple TV show is based off that.
Yes, yeah, Apple TV Plus. Brie Larson, isn't it? It was very good. Yep. And I just started 2 nights ago The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which has been on my list for a while. And I'm waiting for my cousin. I don't know if I told you this. Did you guys ever read any books by Grady Hendrix? He does kind of comical. My Best Friend's Exorcism. He did one called Horror Store. They're like funny horror novels. The Horror Store takes place in like an IKEA. It's got like a portal to hell. Hey, so he's got books coming out soon that I am excited to read.
Oh, cool.
When you're done with the dragon porn, you might like reading some of those, Sean.
Well, I'm reading right now the latest Percy Jackson book. Yeah, Wrath of the Triple Goddess, because I needed a little bit of humor because I have been reading a lot of just. I've been reading a lot of fantasy, and I just wanted. I mean, granted, Percy Jackson's fantasy, but it's different.
Different kind.
And I just wanted something else. So I'm going to get through that. I'm hoping by the time I'm done with that, then Onyx Storm will be available for me at the library.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right, so back to them trying to figure out what classes to take. They're both taking psychology, and Willow said, you could use that as your science requirement.
Yeah.
On my college, you couldn't.
No?
We had to take 2 natural sciences, like chemistry, biology, physics, and 2 social sciences, like psychology, sociology.
Oh, that's really specific. Wow.
So,
Did you guys have Gordon Rule requirements at your schools?
is that at Stony Brook we had something that's called DEC, Diversified Education Curriculum. Basically a set of requirements.
Yeah. So I didn't know about these requirements until it was like my last semester, and they were like, you need 1 more math," and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Oh,
Math is like my weakest subject, and I was like, "I'm taking my calculus and whatever, and I'm done." They're like, "You need to take 1 more math." And then it turned out that they considered logic a math course. I was like, yeah, that was a great class.
Yeah. In my day, we had a paper catalog and we had to fill out forms.
Go to the class and wait in line to try and get in.
Oh.
How was it for you, Maria? Like towards the I'm assuming like you probably started. I'm assuming it evolved for you, like registration and.
I mean, I still had to meet with like a counselor and go over the courses I needed. I kept a piece of paper, which I probably still have somewhere, with everything I needed for my major. And as I
Mhm.
finished, I would check it off. The thing that was difficult is I was going at night, and certain required classes they weren't always given at night.
Oh
So
yeah.
they were skip it or do an elective in between.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the longest time, I was just taking one class a semester, and then near the end, I upped it to two classes
Hmm.
because like I need to finish this before like I'm 60.
Yeah.
For somebody has to wheel me across the platform.
Will suggest taking images of pop culture, which whenever it's a title like that, it's not going to be a good class.
Yeah. Agree.
I think they trick you. They make you think it's cooler than it is. I took a nutrition class for my science requirement. I thought it was going to be, it was so much, it was about the biology. And it was
Yeah.
so much math and science. I was like, no, no, no. I was like, I was like, I just want to learn about apples. Like, why are we
Yeah.
not learning about
Yeah.
apples?
Yeah.
That was disappointing.
But Buffy waited until the last minute to register.
Oh,
So,
Buffy.
I think after that first semester, so we did it. It was like a touchtone registration
Yeah.
system at Stony Brook.
Yeah.
Like the minute that I was eligible, I was on that phone.
Of course.
So
Don't be a Buffy. Be a Sean.
that could be a sticker or a T-shirt. And then while they're having this whole discussion, there's a vampire slowly crawling out of the
The
grave.
slowest vampire we've seen in this show.
He like starts walking towards them, sees like her bag of slaying equipment, and runs away. They're clueless the whole time.
That's pretty funny. As
But
they're
she's got to
talking
stay,
about they don't want to be caught
yeah,
unawares. Yeah.
yeah, got to stay sharp.
That's right.
Got to be on top of things.
Gotta stay sharp like that crossbow.
One of them mentioned that UC Sunnydale was 5 miles away. Man, that's close.
Yeah, which is weird because it never came up any other time. But I mean, I
Right.
was playing for a lot of time, so at least it was very close. I was kind of wondering why they weren't roommates.
Same. I took that note too.
I was
How are
like,
they not roommates?
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Only thing I could think of is because I originally applied to be a roommate with someone when I was going that semester, and they said it's not guaranteed. Like we match the seniors before we match anybody else. So
Oh.
my well, two things. One, I mean the writers just did it to get somebody else in there,
Sure.
but two, I think it is feasible that as a freshman you may not get your roommate. But good point.
All right.
yeah.
I'll allow it.
All right.
Thank you.
Then we get credits.
New credits.
Yeah.
Totally new.
Yeah, there are definitely some new images in there. I see some things from future season 4 episodes.
Oh, they fit a lot in there. I didn't care enough to go back and rewatch the whole thing again, but I figured I'd catch them eventually. But that's why I said there was a lot. They packed a lot in.
Mhm. And I told you this in the season 3 finale, and then I edited it out because I didn't want anybody who's watching along who hasn't seen it yet to know before the episode. But Cordelia is gone. She has moved on to LA, and she is appearing on Angel at this point.
And they didn't really talk about that at all.
They didn't even mention her.
No.
He's not happy.
Was there she went on to Angel, so there couldn't have been really bad blood. It's surprising that they didn't say anything about her.
Mm-hmm. And then after the credits, I was noting the guest stars that we got Christine Sutherland who plays Joyce. Mark Lucas will get to.
Lucas.
Pedro. I'm sorry.
Lucas.
Luke. Yep. Pedro Balmaceda. We'll get to him in a little bit. Catherine Town as Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like Sunday.
Yeah.
And Lindsay Krause. There's a 90s rock song playing as Buffy's wandering around the campus looking a little overwhelmed.
Yes, for sure.
And I don't blame her.
There's a lot of stuff organized already on the first day of college. Man, people have been planning stuff. Rallies and protests, and frats are already pledging on the first day.
Frat parties are planned with Jello shots.
A lot of Jello shots.
You ever go to a frat party? No.
No.
No?
Maybe? remember.
I don't know that there were frat houses, but I don't think they were on campus.
No.
And I definitely did not go to any off-campus frat parties.
I went to one pool party,
Nice.
and then I went to one toga party.
Oh.
And I think both of them, I was probably like, somebody needs to take me home. Not my scene. Somebody take me home.
Yeah. No, I didn't
Yeah.
really fall. I mean, we didn't have any sororities, but we were surrounded by like Carnegie Mellon University, so it was a big college town.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of college kids. I kind of fell in with more of a punk crowd, so we did a lot of like punk shows and coffee houses and things like that. So not a lot of frat parties.
Frat parties.
Yeah.
My roommate, my first couple of years of college, she did not pledge, but I told you, our suite mates pledged, but she was in ROTC, which kind of got lumped in with the whole Greek life. You know, they participated in like the, what's the word? The intramural, but it's like, I don't know. But yeah, so we were involved in a lot of that stuff. It's a whole other scene.
They're grouping the freshmen by folder color.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy doesn't have the right color folder. There's like you said, pledging frat people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah, and you can tell she feels overwhelmed already.
Willow showed up. She enrolled in ethnomusicology. That's a class.
It's all about the African drumming.
Willow is talking. She's overwhelmed, but I think in a good way. She's taking it all in.
Yeah.
All this knowledge is a penetrating force. It's the rusting into her, spurting knowledge.
Spurty. It's spurty.
Oz shows up. He has some interaction with a random dude.
They're both handling it much better than Buffy is the bottom line, right?
Yeah. I mean, Willow was made for college.
Yeah. And Oz is just like, whatevs.
No, didn't Buffy say she picked her classes like when she was in kindergarten, like her curriculum, like she
that
was
Willow
like,
did, yeah.
Yeah, like this. She's been waiting for this time. This is like her time to shine.
Yeah.
Yes. In her heyday.
Yeah.
We find out Giles is being a gentleman of leisure since he doesn't have a job anymore because they blew up the high school.
Yep.
And find out Xander is on a cross-country road trip.
Yep.
So he is not a gas station attendant yet, as you predicted.
Well,
Melanie.
there's still time.
We got 4 seasons.
That's right.
They go into the library. It is very, very pretty.
Yes.
Like a real library with real books.
Will gets shushed.
Yes.
And she's happy about it because she's just loving this place.
Yes.
Then they go to the bookstore.
Yep. Buy some overpriced books, textbooks.
That was always a little traumatizing to me, like that first week of school. It was always packed, unorganized.
Yeah.
Books are ridiculously expensive.
Yes.
Buffy makes a comment about hoping her mom does not have an aneurysm. She hopes it's a funny aneurysm when she gets the bill for the books. They're going to get a psychology book.
They're not cheap.
No, they are not cheap. She goes to get a stack of psychology books on top of the bookshelf and knocks them down onto someone. And we meet Riley, played by Mark Lucas. Yeah.
Yep.
What were your immediate thoughts of Riley, Melanie?
Random cute guy that I figured would be around for one episode.
Did you recognize Mark?
I thought for sure that they were that was gonna be Buffy's love interest, but did not turn out that way.
Yeah, they didn't have the best first impression.
No, he was definitely more into Willow.
He said, "It's nice to meet you," and she said, "I'm nice to meet."
Yeah.
Did you recognize Mark Lucas from anything else?
No.
No, he was definitely like an early 2000s like background actor. I feel in movies. Willow and Riley talk about psychology, and Buffy just kind of there.
Yeah.
Then go to the dorm.
I have things to say about this dorm.
Okay.
Okay, one, just some dude walking through the hallway in his towel. I never encountered anything like that in my dorm.
No, so we were in suites, so it was like 3 bedrooms with 2 people in each bedroom, and we shared a shared bathroom.
Yeah.
But all of that was behind like a locked door.
Yes.
Yeah, there wasn't just like a hall. I see a lot of movies, like the random bathroom towel people.
Like I guess some dorms maybe they have the big communal shower, one per
Mine did.
floor or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine did, and you brought your little basket
But
to
you're not
that.
going to walk
Like,
back through the hall in your towel.
I mean, if you either got dressed in the bathroom to go back to your room, or you walked with your towel, depending on. I mean, we were all girls, so it just depended on how
Oh, well,
comfortable
yeah,
you
that's
were.
different. Yeah.
So
Nowadays, you get sued for sexual harassment. Walk out. I don't need to see that. The other
or
thing is Buffy's room. That is the nicest dorm room I've ever seen.
It
Like,
was big.
normally it's some unfinished concrete block room,
mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I don't think my room was that big either for two people.
Mine
It was a
wasn't.
very nice California dorm room. And her roommate is already there,
Yeah, Kathy.
Kathy.
I noticed in her luggage she had like some art of some cherubs. I thought maybe it was like an Ann Geddes thing,
Oh, yeah,
but
and Dennis. No, she had a Celine Dion poster.
yeah, she did.
All I wrote was Kathy has a Celine Dion poster and she snores.
This whole year is going to be super fun.
Oh boy. My college roommate will tell you the story of how she walked in and saw that I had a Guns N' Roses poster on my bed and she was panicked. That I was gonna be like some thrash metal slacker girl. She was more 10,000 Maniacs.
Mm.
Cool girl. You never know.
Next morning, Buffy is in the pop culture class.
That was
Oh,
that killed me. I was like, oh, come
Oh,
on,
I
so rough,
know.
rough,
that
unnecessarily
professor.
rough.
It was so, oh my God, he was so mean. If that was
He was
me,
so mean.
I never would have gone to college again.
I
No,
read the
Nope.
trivia. He based that off of a teacher that he knew that kicked his friend out, and he was like, "That was a great guy." I was like, "Oh my god!"
no, I'd be on the phone with the dean of the head of the department, which I've actually done that with a math class. A math professor tried to shame me in class, and I called, and then the dean of the math department called me back, and he's like, "Oh, well, I was like, "Of course I do." I said, "I'm not a child. I'm not 17. I'm like, I'm in class to learn. I'm paying for these classes. Like, there's no way that he had to speak to me like that in front of the entire class.
Right,
It was totally
right.
inappropriate, unprofessional. I was just like one of these on the phone,
Do
and
you think, as a 17-year-old, though, that you would have responded that same way?
I think so. Sean knows me.
I, you
I
maybe you
probably
wouldn't
would have,
have called the dean at 17, but you would have had something to say.
or at 17, I probably would have punched him in the neck.
That's what I was.
Wow.
I was a little feisty.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you, Sean. I would just go. I would just leave and go back crying, and I wouldn't go to class for 3 days at least.
All right. I could edit this out, Maria, but
I'm not ashamed of that. Some
These
people
are
need
always
to
the
be
best
punched.
stories when Sean
Some
says
people
yes
need
to
to be
edit it
punched in
out.
the neck.
I feel like it was around this time because I don't think I was living at home anymore. But you and I were going to Wallbound, which was a grocery store, and it was Christmas Eve. It was very cold. It may even have been snowing, and we are walking back to. It was your car, Maria,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden the shopping cart goes barreling by, and like flying by. We couldn't do anything about it, and it either almost hit this car or hit a car, and like the guy was like getting out of the car. He started yelling at us about why didn't you stop it, and he was screaming at us, and rightfully so. Maria screamed back, and it was just like back and forth for like 20 seconds, and it was with you just yelling out, "Merry fucking Christmas!" Good times.
Yeah,
Maria,
things
it
happen.
seems like you were a good, like a yin and yang friendship with Sean. Like you were like good support system.
Yes, he tried to anchor me, and it wasn't an easy job. So
I had my first drink of vodka in Maria's apartment.
Oh wow.
It was a shot, and I was sipping it, and she yelled at me not to sip it. Yeah, so is just horrible
yeah,
to her because she was talking when he was.
Yes. And my notes for this were: one, for a class that big, no teacher is going to hear one student to another student. Two, in a class that size, no teacher is going to single out a student for anything. They just need to get their stuff done. And also, yeah, I've never seen a teacher being such a dick.
Yeah.
He was a jerk.
You know.
Yeah, I also thought in the beginning of classes you're able to audit them because they usually
Oh.
drop people and people can like
Oh.
so you actually have that little bit of grace period where you have students who aren't on your list that are actually able to
Right.
take the class.
Right.
Yep.
I just feel like he was just totally out of line.
Completely.
He was. Because when he said, your name should be on, if your name's not on this list, I would have said, well, is my name on the list? Check the list. I signed up.
I felt that. So she, walks out,
Mhm.
clearly upset,
Hmm.
runs into Riley on her way to psychology.
Right.
Oz and Willow are there.
Hmm.
We meet Professor Walsh,
Hmm.
played by Lindsay Krause.
I don't know her either.
She's another, I feel like, early 2000s actress. So right after Buffy ended, I think both of you know this by now, like I tend to hyperfixate on a show. Buffy. I just finished Yellow Jackets.
Mhm.
Right after Buffy, it was Alias for me. And Lindsay Krause showed up there. I'm like, oh, Professor Walsh.
Oh. She was tough too.
She was.
Not in a jerky
she
way,
did-
but just tough.
Yeah,
No
I mean,
nonsense.
she, like,
Yeah.
yes.
No nonsense.
Mhm.
She said, like, if you're in my good graces, you'll know me as Maggie. If not, the TA is calling me the evil bitch monster of death.
That's right.
So a little bit better than pop culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although I feel like poor Buffy, she just can't catch a break. It's just everything piled on top of everything else. You can just see she's headed toward the edge.
Mm-hmm. Nighttime, Buffy walking through the quad, which I always like doing that at night when it was, in the well-lit areas.
Yes.
Because it can go from like so busy during the day and then at night it's just very, very quiet.
Yeah.
I like that. And she runs into Eddie, played by Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
I was pleasantly surprised. I knew he was on an episode. I didn't realize it was this episode, so I was very excited.
Yeah.
I knew he was in one of the college ones, and when I saw the guest star named Pedro Balmaceda, if I'm getting that right, I thought, well, maybe that's him, but I couldn't remember what episode. I just knew it was what in these beginning college ones, and I was like, oh, yep, that's him.
Yeah.
Apparently, this job saved him because he had, I think, $7 in his checking account. I read, and what he got paid from this helped, tide him over.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, good for Pedro. He's playing Eddie. The two of them are trying to figure out where they are on the college map.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about the book of human bondage. Buffy says she's not really into porn.
That was funny.
And they walk away, and then vampires.
Yep.
Those pesky vampires.
I'm glad to see vampires in this show.
We didn't get a ton last season.
No.
They're college vampires, so they're it's about higher education vampires.
They're very educated, aren't they? Well, I don't know about that. They're living that college lifestyle, though.
Yeah.
They bust into Eddie's room, shake it down, clear everything out, leave a note.
Yeah.
To make it look like he left.
Then we're in psychology class the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy's looking around for him, can't find him, goes to his dorm.
A lot of concern and investigation for someone she talked to for 3 minutes in passing.
They formed a bond.
I guess so. Okay.
And he was cute. He was adorable. I mean, she had like a kindred spirit. Like they were both lost.
Yeah.
Lost souls.
I guess so. All right. She finds his book left in the nightstand, and she knows something is up because he would never have left his safety blanket book.
We go to the vampire den.
Yep. Teen Vamp headquarters is what I called it.
Nice. They're talking about posters. They're tallying. Is it Monet or Klimt? I have to confess, I both of you have taken art history. I have not. I'm not familiar with Klimt.
Oh, really?
You would be if we showed you a Klimt poster, you would go, oh yeah.
Yeah, the Kiss is like his most famous one so all those posters, like,
yeah,
it's the equivalency of the cat saying "hang in there."
Yeah. They're not wrong though when they're like freshmen, so cliche. They're keeping a tally. That was pretty funny. Yeah, they're not wrong.
There's clearly a leader. They haven't named her yet, but her name is Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
She's in charge. One of the other ones wants to eat, and she vamps out, says, "We eat when I say we eat." She's complaining about needing better lackeys.
I was going to buy a headband and try and like do my hair in that like ratty knot thing she had going on. It was very late 90s.
Yes.
Delia's catalog.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love the Delia's catalog.
The scene ends. We see Eddie as a vampire.
Yes. I have a question about this. And I think we might have discussed this in a previous episode, Sean. So this is interesting that Sunday is there and she's got her regular face, but all of the lackeys are all vamped out full time.
Yeah.
And she only vamped out for a second when somebody ticked her off.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah. You had suggested to show that the lackeys are bad or something like that.
Maybe they're less, I don't know, they're weaker vampires.
Maybe they can't
To show the
Lack of
lackiness.
control.
Yeah, lack of control, maybe. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm watching The Vampire Diaries now on HBO, which I think I had watched like the first couple of episodes when it came out on I think it was the CW by then, in 2009. Man, it's so serious. Like compared to Buffy, it's very, very serious.
Oh.
There's a lot of drama. But when they vamp out, they kind of just get like, they don't get like the forehead ridge or anything. They just get like it looks like veiny, like protruding veins, and their eyes go weird.
Oh.
Very, very different. And like when they get staked, they like die and just kind of turn gray. They don't dissolve into dust. It's interesting. It's not Buffy.
You could write a paper on it, compare and contrast.
Ooh. That could be our next contest now.
Oh my God, no. I don't want to read those papers.
All right. Giles' villa.
Yeah. There's something going on there.
Some Pink Floyd playing.
Is it Pink Floyd? I thought it was David Bowie.
You're right, it is David Bowie because I saw the credits that there was a David Bowie song, and I was like,
that's okay. Before your time.
Yeah, I know Changes.
Yeah. So not only is the David Bowie playing, there's
got a lady friend over.
A lady friend.
Yeah.
Visiting old Ripper.
Yes, and she knows him as Ripper, so there's some bow chicka bow bow going on.
Well, I'm assuming it's his shirt that she's wearing, but no pants.
And he comes
Pants
out
are overrated.
Oh man.
Where?
Oh man.
Buffy's like, "Is this a bad time?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
And he introduces her to Olivia. This is one of my students, and Olivia goes off. They're talking, and Buffy's clearly not digging this. And he asks her, "I can't have a private life?" And I love this line. No, because you're very, very old, and it's gross.
I wrote that down, and then I had to figure out how old he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then that just depressed me because he was younger than me.
He's younger than me too. He was 46. Like the character is 40. I mean, the actor Anthony Stewart was 46 at this time.
Yeah.
So
he's not old and gross. He's young and spry.
When you're 17 or 18, that's old and gross for sure.
But it was just because, like, when I watched this when it originally aired, this would have been in '99. So I was 21, and now I am almost 47.
Yeah.
So seeing it from both sides.
That's right.
But yeah, it did make me a little sad.
Yes. I was like, what? I was like, Google. I was like, how old? So I'm like, no.
Buffy tells him about the missing student. She thinks there's a vampire gang, which, good for her for, having good intuition.
Yeah.
And he kind of writes her off a little.
Totally brushes her off. He's like, take care of it.
Yeah. He's like, you don't have a watcher anymore?
That's right.
She quit the council last season. He was fired, and you're going to have to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Tough love.
Yeah.
Pushes her out of the nest. But then when she's leaving, he's like, I'm here if you need me.
Do you think maybe he kind of figured she was trying to hold on to her old life and not really embracing college, saying, you know what, it's kind of like you gotta go. You do what you gotta do. It's, like out of the nest. It's good. It's gonna be okay. I mean, is it okay? We don't know.
I mean, but this isn't like I want to come home. I don't know how to do my laundry. This is Slayer business.
But he's not her watcher anymore.
Yeah, but he's part of the team.
Yeah. Well, he had a hot girl over.
Here's the thing is like I'm always complaining about how Buffy is a horrible friend and she never goes to them and she never relies on her friends. And here's where she's like calling them in. She's like, I need help. And he's like, yeah, I got to go get some.
Yeah. I see both sides of it. I also don't think that she had much of a compelling argument. There's a missing student.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Back on campus in the evening. She sees Eddie.
Yep.
And Eddie's a vampire.
Yep. No. And she stakes him fast. And I don't know why. I think I was because in my head I'm going, it's Pedro Pascal. Of course they're not going to kill him off. He's going to be here for a while. No, he was Pedro whatever back then.
I just saw there's Marie. I know you know him. Mateo Lane.
Oh,
he's a comedian.
Yes. So funny.
I tend to have his YouTube videos on when I'm like just need something in the background for noise. And he's been rewatching a lot of early 2000s MTV shows.
Yes, I saw that episode that he was
like
talking
Next and Super Sweet 16. Yeah. But there was one, I don't know the name of it, but it was like a gay focused soap opera, and he was on there, and that was like only his second credit, and then Buffy was like his third or fourth.
Oh wow. And
then Mateo said he never saw Buffy, and I immediately responded on the TikTok and said, you need to watch it and guest on our podcast.
That'd be exciting.
He hasn't responded.
No? Maybe we should write to Pedro.
I would love
to be on our podcast.
I really do think that we need to reach out to some of these actors, not Pedro Pascal, but like some of these ones, like the girl who played Sunday.
Or Larry.
Yeah, Larry from season 3. Yeah. I think we need to get to work on that.
All right. So she stakes him. And then the blonde leader Sunday and her lackeys are there. And they know she's the Slayer. And then the surfer dude lackey. He's like, are we going to fight or is there just going to be a monster sarcasm rally? Which I would love.
Yes.
Sunday.
And they fight.
Man, Sunday, she punches Buffy in the face. Fast. Yep. Bam.
Mm-hmm. I did think they did a good job of hiding the stunt people's faces
in this
compared to what we have seen in the past.
In this scene, they did.
In this scene, yes. But yeah, Buffy gets her butt kicked.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She runs away.
Yeah.
Runs away to snoring Kathy.
The next day she comes out of her dorm and she's all bruised up and she sees Willow and Oz, and this is back to Buffy's old standard. She doesn't go to them. She takes off on her own. Mm-hmm. She can't tell them what's going on.
Yeah. She goes home off to 1630 Ravello Drive and runs into her mom. I didn't have classes today. I'm like, oh, that's not believable.
We're going to pry into that.
One of the trivia bits was Joy said, "Honey, how are you?" That was overdubbed. If you watch it, her mouth doesn't move.
She says, "Please leave." Honey, shouldn't you be elsewhere? Is what she really said.
Buffy goes into her room and it's full of crates of stuff. Now,
stuff she's stolen from the gallery.
Yeah, Maria, I don't expect you to listen to every episode of our podcast, but we have a running joke that this gallery that Buffy's mom has is like a front. She's like skimming cash off the top. There's stolen merchandise.
Look at the books.
So that was the first when I saw all that stuff in Buffy's room. Like, while we do inventory at the gallery.
Yeah.
Doing inventory, shouldn't it be at the gallery?
He's like selling fake Ming vases.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I really hope one day that we meet Christine Sutherland so we can tell her all about it. I think she'd get a kick out of it because this has been going 3 seasons now into the 4th.
Yeah.
And my notes here aren't the best, but I think that's really the end of it. Like Joyce is like, okay, well, I got stuff to do. Bye.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she did say, well, it's still that's what I wrote down. She goes, it's still your room. She goes, well, if it's my room, shouldn't I be able to fit in it?
Right.
Which I think was that kind of encompassed the whole episode.
Yeah.
Like this is my world. Like these are my friends. This is my life. Why aren't I fitting into it? Like everybody else is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Uh-huh.
like that.
I know.
Insightful.
I try.
As as Buffy's in the kitchen, there's a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
She picks it up. Nobody there.
Hmm.
So this is ringing a bell. I'm like, Angel. So we also got the season premiere of Angel that same night. Angel in LA called her, but then he just couldn't bring himself to say anything.
Oh, it was like a crossover.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's clever.
Yeah.
So she did get the comfort she needed at home. So she's going last ditch effort. She's going to the Bronze, where she
But
could be depressed. What?
before that, though, she goes back to her dorm room and all her stuff is gone, and there's a goodbye note.
That's right. And there's a note on the bed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh. Then she goes to the Bronze, where it's depressing music night again.
Yes. So bad.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the song was nice, but it was just like, oh my god.
No, it was like one word every 3 seconds.
It was not a good song. I'm like,
No, it was not.
I'm like, it was an actual band. It was like electricity.
Yeah.
In the air.
Yeah.
Cackle, sizzle,
Yes.
burn. I'm like, what's going on?
It was awful.
It was really terrible. I'm like, this is like, it's a college episode. You couldn't put a song in that had more than 4 words?
Right. Exactly. And there were people dancing to that stuff.
Yeah.
They were dancing.
They were.
Ugh. Buffy's feeling alone and sad. And then she sees Riley over there, and Riley's just in his whatever. Was that not
Is
Riley?
that Riley? I thought it was. I thought you saw Angel, but then it wasn't. It wasn't actually Angel.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, she thought it was
Oh,
Angel.
I totally missed it. Oh,
She
well, that makes
wanted
it
to
even
see
sadder.
Yeah.
Aw.
She's having a rough time.
Oh.
Yeah.
But then enters Xander.
Back from his road trip.
That wasn't really a road trip.
No.
No, he got as far as Oxnard, which I had to look up. It is in California also.
Yep.
He got as far as Oxnard, and then his engine fell out.
Yep. Ran over a curb, shredded his tires, and stuck.
And he was working at a ladies' club.
Yep.
Possibly subbed as a stripper one night. He wouldn't get into it.
Possibly.
He asks her, like, how's college? And that's fine.
Yeah.
And he said, once more with even less feeling.
Yes.
There's a future episode called Once More with Feeling. He made an Avengers Assemble comment. And was it Joss Whedon that directed the original Avengers?
Yes.
I know he did Age of Ultron. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. And yeah, he basically gives her a pep talk.
She confesses what's going on and her feelings. Yep. And I put OMG, same girl, same. That first year college, there's a lot of angst, a lot of emotions. And I said in high school she was Buffy, protector, and now she's just Betty Louise Plotnick. Poor Betty Louise.
Plotnick rang a bell.
Okay.
The deputy mayor from season 3 that got staked by Faith Allen. His real name is Jack Plotnick.
Oh, interesting.
I think on the podcast I called him Alan Plotnick.
Oh.
So I combined the names, but yeah. Want to share that.
Yep. And Xander gives her a good pep talk and says, he asks himself, what would Buffy do? And that she's his hero and helps her out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go into research mode, find out that some kids, not enough to really raise any awareness, they're disappearing every year. They find out that there's a frat house that was shut down in the early 80s, and they think that's where the vampires are. They go to that house up on the roof. It's a glass roof. I missed this part. She tells him to go, I guess, get weapons. Yes,
I think so. Well, he says, "Are you up for some reconnaissance?" And she says, "You mean where we sculpt and paint and stuff?" No, that was the Renaissance.
She's like, "It's been a rough week."
Yeah, it's been a rough week. But yeah, I think he's going to get stuff to for attack.
And she falls through the roof.
She falls through. That's our plate glass moment. Yeah. And then Sunday punches her in the face again.
Yeah.
Well, she mentioned to Xander to look for the trunk.
Yes, and I didn't know what trunk. I know it's like a trunk full of weapons, but because I thought she said check my place, if not check Willow's.
Yes.
Yeah.
She
And
did
that's
say
like
that.
maybe okay. So
With the
maybe
trunk.
Willow had a backup trunk.
The backup
Which-
trunk of weapons.
Well,
Gotta.
you never know when
They
you're
don't have
going
the
to
cage at the library anymore, so they got to put their stash somewhere,
need. Yes.
right?
And the trunk makes an appearance.
Yes.
Mhm. In Buffy's dorm room, Oz and Willow are there talking to Kathy. Kathy's freaking out.
Yeah.
She asks for a stable non-smoker. Oz's voice of reason,
Yep. Always.
as usual. We love Oz.
Yep.
Xander shows up, hugs Willow, hugs Kathy. A little awkward.
Yes.
Um, Oz and Xander don't hug. They're too manly.
Yes. They're not.
No.
They should be hugging.
Yeah.
Xander's kind of speaking in code that the plank is being played on her by their friends who sleep all day and have no tans.
Yes. Yep.
So they're going to get weapons and help her out. Sunday stomps on Buffy's Class Protector Award. It's like she just got that 3 episodes ago.
Yep.
That hurt.
Big
And
fight scene.
Mike pointed out while that's going on, he's like, "Why are all the other vampires just standing around doing nothing?" I'm like, you know what? You're right. They are just standing around.
That's what happens in this show, Sean. The
I
harvest.
know. Yeah.
Right from the start. Everybody stands around.
But Buffy's fighting back.
Yeah.
She got a tennis racket and
Yep.
smacked one of them. I was going to ask if you called your mom up from her apartment to say the tennis racket. No. Okay.
Ask her what racket that is.
And we'll get a 10-minute lecture about tennis rackets. So yeah, she's fighting back. The gang barges in. Willow takes out the stoner surfer vampire with the crossbow, which should not be used at short range.
But it worked okay.
It worked. Yep. I feel like another classic line was when Buffy said, "Let me answer that question with a headbutt."
Yes.
Buffy's got a cool steak twirl
Yeah.
thing. When people do with guns, and
Yeah.
she's like, because they asked her, "You need help?" She's like, "No, I got it," and
Yep.
takes out Sunday.
Yep.
And the rest of them pretty much are all dead, and so they're leaving. They got Buffy's stuff back.
One guy runs out. One or two guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Then Giles runs up.
Yeah.
I'm here to help.
Yeah.
My question is, how did he know where they were? But maybe they called him when they were.
Maybe. And he looked at that. He on campus. He sees this one building that looks like it's been empty for 20 years and looks like a little dilapidated crack house. He's like, "Oh, that's probably it."
That's the one.
Yeah.
He probably has spare weapons, so they probably said, "Oh, let's call him," because they didn't have anything in her room because they were in her room.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's somewhat.
It's plausible.
Yeah.
It's stretching it very thin, connecting a lot of long dots.
That's what they do in this show. A lot of stretching.
I am glad that he did show up and that he wants to help.
Yes. Yep. Then we see the last lackey, the guy that got away.
Mm-hmm.
And he's walking on campus and he gets tasered
Yeah.
by we don't know who, some guys in camo and hoods.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh.
Maria, we do a 1 to 5 steak rating system. So how many steaks would you give this episode?
I'd give it a solid 3.
Okay.
Give it a 3 because she's like on the precipice. They're introducing some like characters. They're kind of like there's a little bit of growth. It's a little rocky. I'm not 100% with everything. I don't know what's going on yet. I'm not fully there. I mean, it's not one of my top ranked ones.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Melanie?
I say 275.
Okay.
It had some funny lines, had some good lines. The Sunday punching her in the face a couple times, that was pretty good. Made me shout out. Other than that, just kind of eh. But we're setting things up.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a lot going on yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with 3.
Okay.
It was a good episode. It's not amazing. It's definitely not the best season premiere, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm good with 3.
Okay.
Melanie, so at the end there, those, the vampire getting tasered
Yeah.
and the guys in camo.
hmm
What do you think? What do you think's going on there?
I think it's a cult,
Okay.
some kind of a cult, and they're going to recruit vampires and make it a bigger cult to
Interesting.
take out Buffy.
Okay. Interesting.
Thanks.
My niece, not the one that you guys know, but she's technically my first cousin once removed, but
Okay.
it's easier to say she's my niece. She's
Uh-huh.
like, I think she's 23. She's definitely over 21.
Okay.
She started watching Buffy last week. She's almost done with season 3 now, so
Oh my
she's going.
gosh.
Ow.
She's like really binging. She's been texting me as she watched, and she texted me one day this week. She's like, I'm watching these, and I'm just thinking Sean knows exactly what's going to happen. I'm like, yeah, yes, I do. Melanie, do you have a favorite line?
I had a couple that I liked. I think the one about, do you want to do some reconnaissance,
Renaissance.
was good.
Okay.
Renaissance. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
All right. Maria, what about you?
I liked Spurty Knowledge.
That was funny.
That was pretty funny.
I forgot that was in this one. And when she started, I was like, oh, this is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with, let me answer that question with the headbutt.
Okay. All good.
Yeah. All right. So next we have season 4, episode 2, Living Conditions.
Living Conditions.
What's going to happen, Melanie?
So this has got to have something to do with with her roommate.
Okay.
I don't know what. Something with her roommate. They're not going to get along.
Okay.
She's going to bring home a boy and they're going to have an issue. I don't know.
Okay.
And the boy is going to be a vampire or a zombie or a demon.
Okay. Maria, do you remember this one?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I remember main plot points.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the specifics.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a wild guess, and I'm gonna say that Giles winds up with Kathy.
Oh my
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
He's gonna show her some higher education.
I love it.
If he walks into the dorm and he's wearing Kathy's
Oh my
shirt and no
God.
pants.
She's like, first my mother, then my roommate.
That's awesome. All right. Melanie, you want to tell our listeners about the socials?
Sure. So we are everywhere except for X and Snapchat, and we are at the Sunnydale Diaries, except for on Blue Sky, where we are Sunnydale Diaries. We have an email, which is thesunnydalediaries@gmail.com. Write to us anytime you like with any fun pointers from episodes we've covered or anything you'd like to see or hear us talk about. We have a website, which is thesunnydalediaries.com, where you can see our 2025 Jenny calendar. You can get to our Discord server from there. You can also get to our episodes from there.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss anything?
We got it all.
I got it all. We got it all.
Maria, was this your first podcasting experience?
Yes.
Oh.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. It was better than expected. No offense.
Oh.
No.
But I mean, I was nervous. I was regretting it.
Oh.
Because he's like, yeah, you've been talking to me for 30 something years. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I can just edit out whatever, if you sound stupid, I'll edit you out. I'm like, okay.
I sent that. I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't take it the wrong way.
No, I was happy about that.
What's fun for me is when I listen back to the episodes after he edits them and I can tell the stuff that he edited out. Like, oh, I wonder why he cut that out. Oh, okay. He didn't like when I said that. Okay.
So,
I have the power.
Like my word choice on that one.
So when I watch this, is it just going to be him introducing me, saying hi, and then bye? That's it. Everything.
No.
That's it.
Maybe just have you pop in one random word every 5 minutes.
That works.
Well, thank you for joining. I may ask you to come back for another season 4 episode that I know we watched together.
Okay.
Because I remember I bought your espresso machine that day before I got home to watch it.
I love that.
So I will be. Well, I'm going to reach out to you because we text all week long anyway. But
I would love to come back. I actually had a lot of fun. Thank you guys. You made me feel very welcomed.
Okay.
okay,
It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. It's
Nah.
not like little vampire, so that worked out well. Nobody staked me, so thank you.
of course. All right. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll be back next time with living conditions. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.